Hello everybody, I'm going to do a reportage on a river. This is a place where I have lived 27 years. Over there is the development. I lived for 27 years. What I'm going to do is pointing out a situation. This is the Stura river. The bridge I'm walking on is a bridge that crosses the Stura river, and I want to point out the situation that has changed a lot. That vegetation you see over there, many years ago, that was all water. Now it's all vegetation. You can see the soil. There is a shortage of water. What I want to tell you is that the climate change has affected a lot all rivers, but this one, that part, that stretch of land you see, that vegetation wasn't there. There was water. 33 years ago I walked on there and there was ice, it was frozen. But now not only there is shortage of water, there is ground and vegetation. But it doesn't freeze anymore. It's a very, very dangerous situation for all rivers all over Italy, and not only here in Italy. I want to show you this part. I'm walking on further on to show you better the situation. This part I'm shooting now, it was all flowing water. Now it's an astounding vegetation, very high. It peaks much more than my level. It's a shortage of water. It's a very critical situation because it doesn't rain anymore like it used to do in the past. And so what you can see is like there kind of a creek, low tide. This is not a temporary situation, it's a permanent situation because during the winter it doesn't snow in the mountains, and so during the summer, in this period, or like now, is the 3rd of July 2019, the time of this video, and so the snow melting in the mountain is very inefficient, not enough. Because there has been no enough snow, and so this part is very dry. I'm walking further on to show you where the banister and the starting of the river, where it was built many years ago. And as you can see, there is shade here. There's even shade. This is incredible. What should have been water, it's now tropical vegetation. It's a tropical icy situation. Many years ago it was all flowing water. This is a very astounding, staggering situation. It's mind-blowing. The shortage of water is very alarming. This situation, they say it's gonna get worse if it doesn't change in the future. I want to show you the exact point where it starts, the bridge I'm walking on, the bridge of the Stura river. This is starting point, all vegetation. This is the thoroughfare, the main street, where all the cars go to the highway. I'm going back now to show you the Also the opposite side, you can see very well from here. The other side, all that vegetation wasn't there. That hill is Basilica Superga. In 1986 there was a snowfall, 2 meters of snow there. In the city of Turin, where I am right now, 60 centimeters of snow. Now it rarely snows. It's incredible. It's scorching, sweltering. That development, you see, those buildings, not the first one, the second one was my home. I was living on the 7th floor. That apartment, I have lived there for 27 years. I was born there in 1977. It all changed. I'm making a digression to point out the tram lines. You see the electric lines there. The tramway wasn't there. There was here's a tram is running over there right now. Many years ago there was a median. There was a I saw when it was built in 2002. I was living there. I was seeing everything over there. Much less vegetation. Now it's very hot. The climate change has made a disruption to this place, the river. It's very scorching, very high temperature. Right now the temperature is 32 degrees Celsius. It's not very scorching right now, but a few years ago there was a temperature of 39 degrees. Very scorching, very muggy, clammy weather, sticky, a very uncomfortable situation. Over there you can see a grilling. People go there like it were a beach, when many years ago it was all raging, flowing water. It's very shocking to see this situation. I want to point out the other river, that recession, the banks on the other side. That vegetation wasn't there. Lush tropicalized vegetation. The other side, the river was flowing right there. Now you can't even distinguish where it was, because it's a very tropicalized vegetation. You can't see anything. It's completely different. Right now I was walking on ice. Now it's very hot. It seems like North Africa, like a tropical country, like it could be Thailand, Vietnam, or those countries in the Southeast Asian. And so I want to show you the rubble when there was a flood. I don't know exactly when it was, many years ago, and it just sits there. It's a situation very worrying for the planet, because the last 5 years have been the most hot we have ever witnessed, not only in Italy but also in Europe. 2 years ago there was a record temperature in Iran. It was an astonishing temperature, 33.7 degrees Celsius, mind-blowing temperature. The next year in Oman, the highest temperature recorded at night, and so it was 36 degrees more or less. It's a situation very worrying, because every year these heat waves there are putting in danger our lives, are becoming much more frequent. Many years ago this change you see, it would have happened in a lifespan, a time span of maybe more than 100 years. I did the math. This change over there you see in this river where there was once water, it would have happened in a time more than 100 years ago. Instead, 33 years ago, I walked on ice, as I said. This situation that today you could think it was like walking on ice. It was all frozen here during the winter, of course. It was more than 30 years ago, but it could have been more than 100 years. It's going faster. It's going much more faster. We have to do something to save the planet because it's a very worrying situation. But the problem is that the lobbies, the powerful people of the world, they have to change what they are doing to change the future of our planet, because the future generations, of course, they have the right to have a better situation. It's our duty to do something. The problem is that in Paris there was a summit, but many powerful countries didn't comply with the tasks they agreed on to keep the temperature of the world at less than a certain value, because it's going the average temperature of the world is going higher. But they don't comply with those accords, with those agreements. And so the problem is that if we don't act now in a concrete way, the future is in danger. And just a few years ago in France, there was an astonishing record, 46.9 degrees Celsius in a city in France. The highest temperature ever recorded in that country. Every year it's becoming hotter, it's sweltering, it's like a tropical, Europe is becoming tropicalized. This situation is very alarming, and so it's gonna get worse if you don't take action. I'm Italian, I've witnessed many snowfalls in this city. In that development I've lived for 27 years, as I said. When I was a child, many times it was cold during the night, and also the temperature at night a few years ago, there was in Turin 27 degrees at night, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And it should have been the average temperature 27 degrees. It should have been at 2 a.m. This is crazy. It's absurd. It doesn't go down at night. It's a change that is going too much faster. It's outstripping our actions, the actions that we take. But there are other events like an astounding hailstorm in Mexico a few years ago. 1 meter of hailstones, a hailstorm 1 meter high. This is very incredible. And in Slovenia there was an hailstorm that was with like the hailstones were as big as a golf ball, maybe even bigger than that. What I want to tell you is to drop a line of the changes you have witnessed where you have been living for a long time, 30, maybe 40 or more years in the same place, whatever country you're in, city, region, province, town, or hamlet, wherever you're from, to tell in the comment section what has happened when you were a child, from when you were a child until now, to point out the differences that have been happening during these years. So now I'm going back, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I have to end it here, and so drop me a line what has been changing in your place where you are living, and so to point out what is the difference when you in your childhood from now. So, and remember, let's hope for the best but prepare for the worst. I have to wrap up. That's my brother over there. I'm going to close this video, so see you next time. Peace out.